Alright, picking Vegas and beyond. I want to make a different kind of video. I've never really done a what sold video. And this isn't going to be the typical what sold video like you see from other people. This is going to be kind of like my version of it, where I just talk about some of the things that I've sold that stand out to me. It's not going to be everything I've sold. It's just some of the things that stand out in my mind, some of the things that I can remember. So I sold a vintage gold label like Western shirt from, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the brand, honestly, but it's spelled, I guess it would be Team Tex, but it's not spelled properly. It could also be Tim, I'm not sure, because it's spelled T-E-M. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced. But yeah, it's T-E-M-T-E-X. If you see anything with that, more than likely it's going to be worth picking up. And don't listen to the people who sell them for less than what they're worth, because there are a lot of stupid people on eBay who sell them for way less than what they should. Because I was expecting, honestly, I listed it. At the time I listed it, the prices were lower than they are now, which is strange. Because when the person bought it, I went on and was wondering what happened, because I was expecting someone to make me an offer on it, which didn't happen. The person paid full price. And that made me curious, so I went and looked, and sure enough, the prices have more than doubled since I listed that shirt. So, yeah. I don't know what happened or what made the brand take off the way it has, but it's worth more than it was when I listed the shirt, and I got full price for it. So, yeah. And there's another thing that I wanted to talk about, or the next thing I should say that I wanted to talk about, is a brand called, I guess you would pronounce it Frother. It's F-U-G-G-L-E-R. If you find their plushes, they're worth picking up, because they go for quite a bit of money for a plush. And they do sell for what, if you look at them, when you go on eBay and you look them up, look up the highest prices, and they do go for that, because if you look up what sold, and you'll see that they do go for a lot of money. So, yeah. The next thing I wanted to mention was I sold a pair of Lucchese, I guess that's how it's pronounced, boots. I had more than one pair, but this pair that I sold, I paid like $1 for at one of the independent thrift stores, and they sold really fast for, I think it was like $150. And then I wanted to talk about, there's a brand of boots called White's boots. If you see anything White's or Lucchese, pick them up, because they're both decent quality and they will sell relatively fast. The White's boots sold really fast too for me. The Lucchese and the White's both sold in less than a week. Not sure which one sold faster, but they both sold really fast. And then I also sold a Cheech and Chong t-shirt. Got full price. And the next thing I'm going to talk about it because I've sold a bunch of them. And they're relatively common, because I probably found 10 or 12 of them. and I've sold a bunch of them. One person, well, I think this happened twice actually, where I've had someone come in and buy 2 of them. And usually I get $85, $95 each for them. So if you could find what I call RCA business phones, you can ignore the people who sell them cheap, because you can get good money for them. And I know this because I have gotten good money for them. Like I said, I've sold a bunch of them already. And they're relatively common because I've come across a bunch of them already. Actually, one place I went, I think I found 5 or 6 of them in one place. And I've already sold all of those. I have 2 other ones that are a different model. And then I have one of the ones that I've been selling that I just found recently. Wait. No, I think that already sold actually. So I have the 2 other models, but I think I already sold the one that I've been selling. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is it's Hawaiian shirts. A lot of people ignore them, but they do sell. And I know because I sell a lot of them. But specifically, the one I wanted to talk about, if you see any of the Ralph Lauren or the Polo Ralph Lauren Hawaiian shirts, pick them up. And the only reason I say that is because I found one at a thrift store, and within about 5 or 10 minutes of listing it, literally before I had a chance to even put it away after listing it, it sold. And people are always talking about how DVDs are worthless and stuff like that. But I sold it was a DVD lot of the TV show Sons of Anarchy. So if you come across like the DVDs for TV shows or whatever, like the seasons, if you can get them in good condition, they'll sell. I also sold what I call a sweater jacket by LL Bean. I think I made like $100 for that actually. Or pretty close to $100, somewhere around there. And I also sold a pair of, and this is a brand that people ignore at the thrift stores and yard sales and everywhere. And I know because I picked up a bunch of pairs of them. But if you see Acme, like cowboy boots, they're worth picking up. They don't go for as much as the other brands, but I think I made altogether, I think it was like just under $100 for that pair. I think it was like $96 or $97 or something like that. Anyway, and here's another thing that I've sold multiple of, and that's the Beaker hand puppets. I can't really remember how many of them I've sold off the top of my head. I think it's somewhere like 4 or 5, and I usually get $80 to $95 or somewhere around there for each one of them. So those are worth picking up too. But they are relatively hard to come by. I mean, I've found a bunch of them, but that's only because I've made it a point to look for them, online and pretty much everywhere that I might be able to find them. But like I said, I usually get anywhere from 80 to close to $100. And another thing I've sold multiple times is salvaged jeans. Minimum that I get for those, and I get more than most people, but I usually get at least $80 a pair for them. The most I've ever gotten, I think, was like 90 something or somewhere around there for a pair of them. I also sold a Dymo. It was brand new. So I think I got like almost $200 for that. I think it was like, altogether, it was just under $200. And I also sold something that I can't pronounce. It's like a milk, basically it's a milk frother, but the brand itself, I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, I sold that quite a while ago. That was like, that's been like 6 months ago now that I sold that. So the stuff I'm talking about is not necessarily stuff that I've sold recently. It's stuff that I've sold that I can remember off the top of my head, basically. But the milk frother and the Dymo, I sold both of those months ago. I don't know why I got a runny nose today. But anyway, yeah. The milk frother thing, I sold that months ago, and I think I got like 180 for that, or something like that altogether. I think it was like 180, something like that. But if you see something, especially if you see something that like is a brand you never heard of, it's worth looking up. I don't normally look up anything when I'm sourcing, but I don't like looking things up anyway. I kind of go off my gut. Sometimes I've been looking stuff up. It's just, I don't really like doing that. But yeah, those are the things that I've sold that I felt like were worth making a video about.